I just got access to the Netflix archives and immediately went to find out what the new games in Squid Game Season 4 USA were. Now, I'm 99.97% sure that I know exactly what they are and how they'll be played. Let's break it all down. One of the games in Squid Game USA is Human Chess, a brutal, strategic bloodbath disguised as a classic board game. The game takes place in a massive arena-sized chessboard, 16 by 16 black and white squares built with elevated tiles and concealed traps. Players are assigned specific chess pieces: king, queen, rooks, bishops, knights, and pawns. Two teams face off, and behind each team is a designated commander, a non-participating player who controls all the moves, speaking through a microphone. Once the game begins, standard chess rules apply. The commander calls the shots and the players must move exactly as instructed. However, when a piece is captured, the captured player is instantly eliminated, either by mechanical weapons or being stabbed by the player who captures. The twist: players have no control over their movements. If they hesitate, question orders, or refuse to follow the commander's moves, they're eliminated on the spot for disobedience. The psychological pressure intensifies as players realize their fate depends entirely on someone else's decisions. Victory comes when one team checkmates the opposing king, but by then, most of the board is soaked in blood, and only a few pieces remain standing. Human Chess in Squid Game USA turns a classic intellectual game into a high-stakes battlefield of loyalty, fear, and strategic brutality. The next game is originally a playful children's game. Duck Duck Goose involves a group of players sitting in a circle while one person walks around tapping each on the head, saying "Duck Duck," until they suddenly declare someone goose. The chosen goose must then chase the picker around the circle and try to tag them before they take the empty seat. It's lighthearted, fast, and fun. In Squid Game USA, Duck Duck Goose becomes a brutal test of reflexes, endurance, and unpredictability. The game takes place in a circular arena with around 30 contestants sitting evenly spaced on floor cushions, hands behind their backs. One player is randomly selected as the picker and walks around the circle. At first, it appears faithful to the original game. The picker taps players one by one, saying "Duck, duck," until choosing a goose. But in this version, the stakes are lethal. The moment goose is declared, a countdown begins. The picker has 15 seconds to outrun the goose and complete a full loop around the circle, returning to the vacant seat. If they make it, the goose is eliminated on the spot. If the goose tags the picker first, the picker dies. Additionally, players can't sit in the same spot twice. The field narrows quickly and physical exhaustion builds as the circle shrinks. The game continues until only half of the original players remain. This version of Duck Duck Goose weaponizes hesitation and overconfidence. It forces players to read their opponents, decide whether to go for speed or surprise, and endure the mental and physical toll of sudden death with every tap. If the other games were tense, just imagine this one. Traditionally, Hot Potato is a fast-paced children's game where players sit in a circle and quickly pass around an object, often a beanbag or ball, while music plays. When the music stops, the person holding the hot potato is eliminated. It's a test of timing, reflexes, and luck. In Squid Game USA, this innocent game transforms into a deadly pressure cooker of nerves and reaction time. Contestants are placed in a dimly lit circular chamber. They stand rather than sit, shoulder to shoulder, forming an unbroken ring. In the center of the circle is a tall, mechanical arm holding a spherical device, roughly the size of a basketball, the potato. It pulses with a red glow and emits a faint ticking sound. Once the game begins, the mechanical arm tosses the potato to a random player. The timer starts counting down from 20 seconds. The player must pass the device to someone else before the timer hits 0. The catch? They can't pass it to someone directly next to them. It must skip at least one person, forcing cross-circle throws. The tension escalates fast. Players can fake throws, dodge, or even refuse to catch, adding psychological warfare to the mix. If someone fumbles or hesitates and the potato detonates in their hands, they're instantly eliminated either via explosion or a precision-targeted kill mechanism built into the room. In the last rounds, multiple potatoes are introduced. Some are duds, some are real. The music plays overhead, and when it cuts out, suddenly the lights flicker and a countdown begins. Everyone must freeze with their last potato. Whoever is holding a live one is eliminated. This version of hot potato tests not only coordination and reaction time, but also trust, strategy, and cold-blooded calculation. It's not just about surviving, it's about knowing when to pass, and more importantly, to whom. Tag is one of the most iconic playground games in America. One or more players are designated as it and must chase and tag others who try to avoid being touched. In its pure form, it's a game of speed, agility, and evasion. But in Squid Game USA, the stakes are deadly. The arena is a sprawling maze, dimly lit, filled with obstacles, narrow hallways, dead ends, and multi-level scaffolding. Think a cross between a warehouse, a jungle gym, and an industrial nightmare. At the center of the arena, a massive digital clock counts down from 15 minutes. 3 players are randomly chosen to start as it. But here's the twist. Instead of a simple hand tag, each it is equipped with a retractable blade glove, sharp enough to draw blood with a single touch. A loud buzzer sounds and lights above your head flash red. Drones or turrets enforce the rule if anyone tries to keep running. The tagger immediately reverts to a regular player, and the person who was tagged becomes the new it. You cannot tag back the person who tagged you. After 10 minutes, a sudden twist is introduced. Multiple its can exist simultaneously. The goal is to survive until the clock runs out without ever becoming it during the final second. As the countdown approaches 0, panic sets in. Players begin sprinting in erratic directions, shoving others into taggers' paths, or using bodies as shields. Some players intentionally become it with seconds to go, trying to tag a rival and escape last-second elimination. Tag in this version is pure chaos. It tests endurance, spatial awareness, and most of all, manipulation. Outsmarting opponents is as important as outrunning them. In Squid Game USA, staying untagged isn't just about speed, it's survival. After thinking about it, out of all the games we've reimagined for Squid Game USA, Hot Potato stands out as the most fitting for a brutal and suspenseful final round. While games like Human Chess, Tag, or Capture the Flag rely on teams or multiple participants, Hot Potato is uniquely suited to be able to perfectly be played with few remaining players. Hot Potato is deceptively simple. Pass the object before the timer runs out, or you're eliminated. In a Squid Game adaptation, the potato could be a timed explosive device with a randomized countdown that no one knows. This transforms a childhood party game into a psychological minefield. Every toss becomes a gamble. Every decision to hold it for a moment longer could be the difference between life and death. There's no room for strategy teams or alliances, only fear, tension, and instinct. What makes Hot Potato so powerful as a final game is its emotional cruelty. It's not just about surviving, it's about deciding who dies. Players are forced to look one another in the eyes while passing a literal bomb, knowing full well one of them won't make it. The game strips everything down to raw human desperation. No rules to exploit, no puzzles to solve, just nerves, timing, and the will to win. It's a short, brutal, and high-stakes climax that embodies everything Squid Game stands for: fear, manipulation, and the price of survival.